Son, Trustee Powell, right there.
I am here.
Thank you. Trustee Kennedy, are you there online? Trustee Kennedy? Okay, we shall start the meeting. We have quorum. Call to order. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the special board meeting of the Halton Catholic District School Board on Thursday, October 9th, 2025. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and will also be posted on the board's YouTube channel. Trustees. Check. Okay. Trustees, in order to be recognized, please use the hand up feature in Teams and you will be automatically placed in queue. Tonight, we have guests and candidates in the boardroom, and I want to welcome you in a very special way to this special board meeting. Trustees and guests, here's a reminder. We have a new microphone system you see above, and it's very sensitive. So if it picks up everything, cough, you sneeze, it's going to pick that up, okay? So be cognizant that it's going to pick that up. So when you have the floor only, you will be asked to, when you're given the floor, please speak up, otherwise it's going to be all noise. With that, I shall call this meeting to order. Item 1.1, land acknowledgement to opening prayer, Our Father, and the national anthem. Director Klein, I should not start to first start off the land acknowledgement.
Halton, as we know it today,
is rich in the history and modern traditions
of many First Nations and the Métis.
From the lands of the Anishinaabe
to the Attawandaron,
the Haudenosaunee,
and the Métis.
These lands surrounding the Great Lakes
are steeped in Indigenous history.
As we gather today on these treaty lands,
our Catholic social teachings
call us in solidarity
with our Indigenous brothers and sisters
to honor and respect 4 directions:
lands, waters, plants, animals, and ancestors
that walked before us.
All these wonderful elements of creation exist,
gifted to us by our Creator God. We acknowledge and thank
the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation
for being stewards of this traditional territory.
Thank you. Director Klein, could you please lead us now with the opening prayer, the Our Father and national anthem?
Thank you, Chair. Every year we have a Catholic Education Week, which is in May, but over several years of this, the Ontario Catholic School Trustees Association and many educators around the province have worked to provide a lot of resources that last the whole year. So this Education Week starts about 30 weeks earlier and includes resources for each month. For this month, there is prayer that has been written, and I'll begin with that, and then we'll continue with the Lord's Prayer. So this is called Prayer for Holiness. You join me in the name of the Father, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Loving God, you gave us saints like Carlo Acutis and Pier Giorgio Frassati to show us that holiness is possible in every time and in every place. Help us to love you as they did. In our homes and with our friends, in moments of success and struggle. May we, like Saint Carlo Acutis, keep our eyes on the Eucharist. And like Saint Pier Giorgio Frassati, reach always toward the heights of virtue and love. Inspire us to guide with wisdom and patience, and help all of us become the saints you are calling us to be. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Peace.
Thank you, Director Clark. Our next order of business is the approval of the agenda, item number 2. May I have a motion to approve the agenda? Looking for a mover, please.
I'll move it.
Moved by Trustee Okan Chanada, looking for a seconder, please.
I'll second.
Seconded by Trustee Kelly. I'll take this to a recorded vote. Trustee Carabella,
Favor.
Trustee Powell,
In favor.
Trustee Kennedy,
In favor.
Trustee Agnew,
In favor.
Trustee Okan Chanada,
In favor.
Trustee Kelly,
Favor.
Trustee Saunders,
Favor.
Trustee Adele, Trustee Adele, Trustee Parasram,
In favor.
Trustee Hannah,
In favor.
Trustee Adele. We have 7 in favor, none opposed, no abstention. Motion carries. The agenda is approved. Our next order of business is declarations of conflicts of interest. Trustees, do we have any conflicts of interest to be declared tonight? Online? Seeing none, we shall now move on to our next order of business, which is action items. Item number 4.1, trustee appointment process. I shall begin this segment and then I'll hand it over to Director Klein to continue and offer his comments on the process. First of all, before we continue, I'll put our trustees on the spot. I'll ask our trustees to introduce themselves. I'll go around the table. Trustees, please introduce yourself and identify which municipality you're from. So Trustee Carabella.
Hello, I'm Trustee Helena Carabella. I'm from Oakville and for wards 5 and 6.
Thank you. Trustee Powell, online. Trustee Powell, could you turn your camera on?
Hi, I'm Trustee Powell. I am a Burlington trustee. And do you want my ward? Is that what you were asking? Sorry.
If you're okay, that's good.
I know. Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you. I put you on the spot. Trustee Kennedy.
Yeah, I had to think about that one.
Trustee Kennedy.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Trustee Kennedy, Oakville South, wards 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Trustee Agnew.
Brenda Agnew, Burlington, wards 4 and 5.
Thank you. Trustee Luhanchanan.
Hi, everyone. Janet O'Hearn Charnota from the Great North, Halton Hills is my area. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you. Trustee Kelly.
Hi, I'm Kirsten Kelly. I'm from Burlington, wards 1 and 2.
Trustee Saunders.
Yeah, hi, I'm Chris Saunders, Oakville, wards 4 and 7. That's North Oakville.
Trustee Adelier. Trustee Parasaram,
Hi, I'm Valini, and I am the student trustee representative for Burlington.
Trustee Hannah,
Hello, I am Trustee Hannah or Roper Hannah, and I am the student trustee for Oakville.
thank you. Frank Marvin, trustee from Milton, wards 1 and 4. Thank you. So with that, we shall move on to the next part I'll explain the procedure and process and Director Klein continue. First of all, I want to thank all our candidates. I want you all to be feeling very comfortable. This is a conversation we're having. I know some of you will be speaking for the first time, but don't be overwhelmed by this process. It's a simple process. So we are candidates for Ward 2 and 3 in Milton. Thank you for putting our name forward. Really appreciate you setting your documents in time. That's really the thing. So for tonight, student trustees have a role, but then they are not here right now. So they were supposed to select a name for candidate and random in the box. The box is here. I'll take on that role myself. The candidates, when your name is called out, you'll come and take a position at the table there. The timer will be started in 5 minutes to present. You'll stick to your script. Okay, so whatever script you sent, you will stick to the script. You'll be following that. At the end of your presentation, a trustee will ask you 3 questions. We have the questions with you. Without giving you the questions in advance, so you can prepare for that. After that, you will return to your seat, and we will repeat the process with all candidates. At the end of the process, trustees, if you want, will take a 5-minute break to buy a break and come back. And then I will hand the gavel to Director Klein, who will then proceed to the voting by secret ballot. Director Klein, at this point in time, would like to add or speak to the voting process.
Thanks, Chair. And let me convey staff my thanks as well for your decision to put your name forward. And because I certainly think it takes a certain amount of courage to take on the role of this leadership that helps guide school boards toward greater heights and to greater fulfillment. So thank you on behalf of myself as director and staff. The procedure, once that's done, have again a bit of a break after the questions and speeches, really comes down to votes. So we have ballots that have your names on them. The ballot will be given to each of the trustees, and they will tick the box as one does in elections, fold it up, and then we will collect them in a basket. Those who are not with us physically have in our action plan here the opportunity to contact Superintendent Bakaich, and there's only 2. And then they will say to her what the voting would be, somewhat like some of us might have done with spouse at one point if you're not around. And then she will do that. Then we will go back here and count those. We will have a scrutineer with us at that point, and then we will look to see what the numbers say. If we have a majority, then that person wins. So my math is still pretty good, and yours probably is too. And that with 8 trustees voting, the majority would be, I'm not asking you to answer this, you'd already had the questions, it would be 5. So 5 would be the majority. And then when we get that majority, I will, there's no smoke or anything coming up, I would write it on a piece of paper, hand it to the chair, and then we'd make that announcement. Possible we wouldn't have a majority at the start. So if that is the case, we would eliminate those who receive no votes or the lowest votes, and then we would go back to another ballot for our trustees. What we have in terms of ballots has been the names of everyone who has applied, put their name forward. There were some who have their names, we've struck out their names because there were some that have withdrawn, and there were some that did not meet the criteria. And you remember on the attestation form that there are criteria. There's things that you have to be, and things that you have to say, no, I'm not this. And we won't get into those because. So that's why some of them will be struck out already. So if we have our vote, our first vote, and we have some that get no votes at all, or the votes are the lowest votes, those will be struck out for the next one. So it's not that scientific. It's the same ballot. It's just pen going through them. And Elizabeth will be doing that. Then you being trustees, will get those again. And then in the conversation with Emmy, she would be conveying that to our trustees that are virtual, and then we would do it again. Once we get to that magic number, then we're done. I would hand that to the chair, and then the chair would make the announcement. Chair, am I forgetting anything?
No, I think we're just opened up to trustees if you have questions. Trustee Saunders, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I'm just wondering who the scrutineer is.
The scrutineer is, we unfortunately do not have our students. They dropped out last minute. We have one of the Legionaries of Christ brothers, priest, will be here. You'll be your scrutiny.
Okay, and is it possible to count the votes here?
No, I'm going to leave that process independent of trustees. The job is the director of education, and his group. So that the scrutineer is independent, and we will do the job and bring the result to us. We need to play our trust in the process. Is any further questions online? Thank you. Thank you. So with that, once again, I will necessary with plans, so we'll start the process.
I'll start the process.
Thank you. Thank you. So candidates and trustees, we are going to start the process and the box here. Oh, one more thing. Trustees, I am not going to be asking questions. I'm going to pass them to trustees. I think a lot in the background. So I'll just, all your names are here. Just pick a name from here. You can have the question, okay? So we'll go around the table to start with chair.
Just, I think trustees are aware, but if they're not, I'll just make sure you're aware. Well, as our candidates came in too, we gave them the questions too, so they're not thrown off. Give them a little time to kind of breathe and absorb those, so you're aware.
Sorry, just quick clarification. So as we go through, the lowest vote getters will be dropped off the ballot as we move up.
Dr. Klein?
Yes.
Okay, candidates, you ready? The first speaker, Tim O'Brien. Tim O'Brien. Give me a second. I'll just use my handy timer. And you'll just take, okay? Don't worry about it. Okay, go ahead.
I want to, first of all, take this time to thank Director Klein and the Board of Trustees for giving me this opportunity to apply for this position. So the question that comes to mind is, what is needed right now for the Halton Catholic District School Board? Our Minister of Education has said he is 100% looking at eliminating the trustee position. So this is the time when all boards are being scrutinized more than ever before. Yet, this present board has operated in the most transparent, accountable manner, delivering either compliant or balanced budgets for the last 3 years. There have been no spending scandals and very few controversial issues. What is needed is a person who can maintain that level of transparency, accountability, and good governance. That person is me. When I served as trustee for this board in the last term, my voting was always in favor of what is best for students, just like this present board. My professional spending was usually the least of all trustees. If there were any legal questions I had, I sought and paid for them myself. I was the trustee that was responsible for setting the board on the course of becoming paperless. You could not find a candidate who was more interested in cutting costs than myself. The problems have become more from looking for spending scandals for me. I've also worked for the past few years on a finance committee in a church that was going into debt. That church is now out of debt. The strict financial goals that this present board has adapted are one and the same to the financial goals that I carry with me. I could really help this board continue on this journey of fiscal responsibility. As well, this position is only for a year, no more. It takes at least a year to train a new trustee in the areas of budget, the Ed Act, Municipal Conflict of Interest Act, governance and bylaws. You don't have a year to train someone. You need someone ready now to step in, and that's me. I'm already trained. I was on the board that rewrote the bylaws. I've taken the seminars that many of you have taken. I'm ready to make that seamless transition you need. I've also attended several board meetings since this present board has taken office. I am up to date about what is current. I don't have to be brought up to speed. Also, you need someone who can work with the present board. Looking around this table, there is not one person I would conflict with. I may disagree with some, yes. And there are some trustees here that I disagree with intensely and passionately. But in the end, we always made a decision, and I uphold every decision that we made together. I connect at some level on some issue with every person sitting at this table. Milton needs a trustee that can respond to the educational needs of the community. I taught music in Ward 3 Milton for over 13 years, and in Milton itself for over 18 years. And yes, I did teach in the public system, where our focus was mostly diversity, equity, and inclusion. But I know those values can fit with the Catholic lens that the Milton schools teach through. I know the school climate in Milton and can respond to it efficiently and with the greatest accountability. From my resume, you can also see that I'm a great promoter of the arts. I taught the arts for over 20 years. I know this board has the same mindset. Let me help you to continue with that mindset. The only area of change I see needed is that students need a better grasp of Scripture. Many Bible verses support diversity, equity, inclusion. Students just need to know their Bibles better. I'm not a person of great controversy. I work well with people. I see a board that is already doing a great job. The leadership is already in place in this room. You just need someone to continue to support that great leadership. That person is me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. I will now go around the table and trustees will ask you the 3 questions. First off, Trustee Carabella, you have 3 questions to you.
Yep.
Please go ahead, Lord.
Thank you. Welcome. So the first question is, what is your understanding of equity and inclusion in the Catholic school setting? And how would you ensure all students feel welcome and valued?
Equity is a word that is actually 49 times in the Old Testament and several times in the New Testament. We, as a people of faith, have been dealing with equity for 3,000 years. And every time it comes to the table, it means something different and deeper. Look at the Old Testament yourself. The first Christians were Jews. And the first council of the church was whether or not we should include people who were not Jewish. And of course, equity won out, and that's how we became the universal church. To the ages, you can see that we as Catholics have always been at the forefront of equity. The church through the Middle Ages have spoke out against racism many, many times, and we still do. It is not something, it is not a new voice. So how does that apply to you as a school board? You still have the same job as the people of the Old Testament as the people of the New Testament. Every time an equity issue comes to the table, it is your job to hash it out and to make sure equity wins, because it is a Catholic belief. Every time a new group comes in, every time a new person that somehow does not fit, it is our job as Catholics to make sure they feel welcome and included. All the way from people with disabilities to people from other countries, everything. That is our goal. As well, this past board did have an equity audit, which was quite extensive. They gave, I believe, 22nd recommendations. And from what I talked to with the ex-officer is many of those recommendations have been implemented. However, there are still some that are not. and I work as a trustee to make sure they do. I have a few in mind that I would talk to more, but I don't have the time to go into that.
Thank you. Mr. Kevin?
Do I continue? Okay. And thank you for your answer. What do you see as the biggest challenges facing the HCDSB today? And how would you address them?
Two big challenges. This board is ever growing, ever expanding. New groups are coming in, constant influx of people. So primarily communication at all levels has to be paramount. School level, parish level. And again, it goes back to equity inclusion. People must feel included. The other area that I see is the virtual world. Our students live more in the virtual world now than we do. And we need to address that more. We need to get into that world, not only on an educational basis, but on a supervising basis. What's bullying takes place now online, and if we don't meet the needs, we don't become part of that virtual world, we will lose a lot of our students, and we will suffer a lot. They will suffer a lot of mental health issues because we're not there with them. I'll leave it at that.
Thank you.
Mr. Kevin?
And lastly, have you seen and read the HCDSB strategic plan? If so, can you provide a few comments regarding the 4 pillars and your role within the multi-year strategic plan?
Okay, first one is achieving. I won't go through the whole plan. First point says provide educational experience to support every learner. The document Growing Success is still used in our schools. Basic education of growing success is you must do a needs assessment of every student. You cannot program them unless you know what they need. And then you program according to that. We have so many good programs in place, but again, without proper assessment, you can't meet their needs, and there has to be a follow-up, making sure that those plans are followed completely. Believing, I'll center on the point, foster relation between home, school, and parish. The fact that they're mentioned as 3 separate things actually is almost a problem in itself. There has to be a transition so that home, school, and parish are not seen as 3 distinct things. There has to be a better flow. Home must be connected to school. School must be connected to parish. The church has to be seen as more than just a place where you go do the religious thing. And I myself have done that in my own church. At St. John the Baptist, we invite the kids there once a year just to do their talent show in our church basement, which I run, to let them show that being a Catholic is just not going more. It's more than going to church, developing your talents. Home and school communications can't be stressed enough, and the learning that takes place at home must coincide with the learning that takes place in school. Belonging. I will go on the part support students who thrive in their physical and mental health. Going back to my first point, mental health is a huge, huge issue with this board. Many students suffer from it. To address it, again, I think we have to do more work in the virtual world. We have to become part of it and meet the students where they are at. There has to be more training with teachers on how to spot mental health issues and to deal with them immediately. And this actually, belonging and becoming, they do kind of go together. With becoming, it does say that we must have equity inclusion in our policies. Again, I'm going to harp back on the equity audit. I think it's one of the greatest things the sport has seen. It needs to be promoted. It needs to be completed, every recommendation. There's still work that needs to be done. That's it.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. You have a seat. Up next. Carmen Valero.
Thank you.
Give me a second. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board, Director of Education and Superintendent. I'm pleased to be here to seek appointment as trustee with the Halton Catholic District School Board. I am motivated by a strong commitment to advance sound governance, fiscal accountability, and evidence-based decision-making that support both the board's Catholic mission and the long-term success of its students. The role of trustee carries significant responsibility in ensuring the public funds are managed prudently, that policies are developed and implemented with transparency, and that the system operates in full alignment with provincial legislation and Ministry of Education directives. I believe that my background in education, governance, and finance has equipped me with the skills necessary to contribute to these priorities effectively. The key priorities: ensure prudent fiscal management and long-term financial sustainability, strengthen accountability and transparency in decision-making, support policies that balance academic excellence, equity, and Catholic values, foster collaborative relationships with parents, staff, and community stakeholders, align board initiatives with ministry directives while safeguarding the Catholic mission, assist in developing a multi-year plan aimed at achieving the board's goals, and advocate for equitable funding from government and community supports. My resume and letter of interest have already greatly detailed who I am and why I'm applying for this position, so I will briefly state my relevant qualifications and focus more on what I can do if appointed. I have over 25 years of education, governance, finance, and community leadership experience. I have a strong understanding of policy development, compliance, and oversight. I have a proven ability to engage diverse stakeholders and to build consensus, and a commitment to ethical leadership and responsible stewardship of funds, and over 18 years of board experience regulated by Ontario Education Ministry. My key presenting statement here today is this. The Halton Catholic District School Board is currently one of the lowest funded boards per student in the province. And I would welcome the opportunity to advocate to improve this inequity for the well-being and future of our students and the fruitful longevity of the Catholic Board. According to the FAO, the board received $11,179 per student in funding, the lowest per student funding of any board in the province. The per student provincial funding is $13,364. I realize this board has been experiencing significant budget pressures due to factors such as inflation, legislative changes, and increased operational costs. In your 2025-2026 budget, you projected a shortfall in funding for special education and mental health services totaling approximately $7.6 million. This gap underscores the financial challenges that you're facing in meeting the diverse needs of the students. As a longtime educator and program service provider for training educational support workers and education assistants, I know how crucial and the need for special education and mental health services are. Education support is the backbone of our education system. It is imperative not only for our student success, but in support of our community, parents, families, and teachers to obtain adequate funding. By developing a plan to advocate for this statement, I believe the goal can be achieved. Some approaches that I would consider and that are limited to are: one, demand that the provincial government take notice of underfunding of the Halton Catholic District School Board through both written and verbal communications with the Premier's Office, the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Children and Community and Social Services. Advocate through other elected politicians, including MPPs, mayors, city councillors in Halton communities, and gain their support. 3, create a stronger awareness aimed at the homeowners about my property and the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation to support our Catholic schools and register as a school supporter instead of so many taxpayers directing their property tax by default, often unknowingly, to the public school board counterpart. 4, seek out other viable sources of funding, such as community donations and government-funded calls for proposals for educational hosts for skills development and continuing education. 5, conduct research into options of selling further surplus land to post-secondary institutions looking to expand in Halton educational landscapes such as McMaster University, Brock University, Mohawk College, which is already happening. And 6, request from statistical sources and conduct more research to produce data to refute the no longer accurate belief that Halton is an affluent area that does not need as much funding as other districts. The data on which this is based is grossly outdated, inaccurate, and no longer relevant. I'm committed to serving with integrity and ensuring that all students in Halton Catholic schools have access to high-quality faith-based education. Thank you for considering my expression of interest. It would be an honor to serve as trustee and contribute to the continued strength and credibility of the Halton Catholic District School Board. Once again, my name is Carmen Valero, and I hope to have earned your vote this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
5 minutes.
You a little lower.
Okay.
But give you the time. We shall now move on to question time. And up next is Trustee Powell. Trustee Powell. Go ahead, take questions.
Hi, thank you so much. Just a couple questions for you. The first is, what is your understanding of equity and inclusion in the Catholic school setting? And how would you ensure all students feel welcome and valued?
Thank you. Well, equity and inclusion in the Catholic education are faith-based, not just social or educational goals, but expression of Christian love. And I think it's important to state the difference between equity and inclusion, with equity meaning that every student has access to the support and opportunities and resources they need to reach their full potential, not necessarily treating everyone the same, but meeting each student where they are. And inclusion meaning creating a welcoming environment where all students, regardless of their background, ability, culture, family situation, they feel like they belong and are valued members of our school community. And what would I do to address this? Obviously, policy. Policy is the way, by providing additional academic or emotional support for the students that need them, and recognizing and addressing systemic barriers such as disabilities, language differences, and so on.
Trustee Powell.
Thank you. What do you see as the biggest challenges facing our board today? And if possible, if you can sum it up, how would you address them?
Thank you. I came prepared. So I did my research. May I? Okay. Just a little research study, case studies on, thank you, on school board funding initiatives that have been successful. I did not know the question in advance. I just took a good guess. Thank you. So as I mentioned in my statement, the underfunding is one of the key issues that I see, the main issue, because with that, we can resolve many of the other issues. So
if you don't mind, if you can summarize.
I'm not going to read it. I'm just giving it to you. Even if I'm not appointed, you can use that. It's my research. It's the 5 different case studies on school boards in Ontario that did go after more funding and were successful. And then I put in a little recommendation on how this board could pursue the funding as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Trustee Powell, third question.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Have you seen and read the HCDSB strategic plan?
Yes.
Okay. Do you mind providing a few comments on the 4 pillars?
Sure. So I'll try to keep this brief. The 4 pillars: achieving. So trustees set high expectations for learning and allocate resources so every student can reach their full potential. With believing, we should uphold Catholic identity, strengthen home, school, parish partnerships, ensure faith guides all decisions. 3, belonging. Trustees champion equity, inclusion, and well-being for fostering safe and welcoming school communities. And 4, becoming. We should promote continuous growth, innovation, and accountability across the system, modeling lifelong learning, service to others. So in essence, trustees are stewards of the Catholic education, guiding, supporting, and safeguarding the mission of achieving, believing, belonging, and becoming. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Valero.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Please take a seat.
Thank you.
Our speaker is Stefan Bobesic. Sorry, I might have mispronounced your name.
No, it's the common thing that happens. So
Sorry.
I explained this to Mr. Klein earlier that I thank my mother every day for spelling it Stefan, but I go by Steven.
Steven, okay.
I understand.
Okay, a second.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. You're up, there.
Good evening, Mr. Klein, trustees, chair of the board, and superintendents. My name is Steven Bobesic, and it's an honor to present my candidacy for the role of Catholic School Board trustee representing Milton Ward 2 and 3. I want to begin by affirming that I do reaffirming twice that I meet all the eligibility requirements for this role. I am Roman Catholic, a Canadian citizen, a registered Catholic school supporter, and a resident of Campbellville, within the jurisdiction of the Halton Catholic District School Board. But beyond simply meeting these requirements, I believe my faith, my professional experience, and my longstanding commitment to Catholic education and community service uniquely equipped me to serve in this capacity. Faith has always been a foundation of my life. I regularly attend both the Holy Rosary Parish in Milton and the Holy Trinity Catholic Church in Oakville. Both parishes have been spiritual homes for me and my family, places where faith and community intersect. I am also blessed to be raising 2 children who currently attend Holy Rosary Elementary School. Watching them thrive in this environment has reinforced my conviction in the value of Catholic education. Their growth is not only academic, but also spiritual and moral and social. And this is what makes Catholic education such a gift to our families and our children. My involvement in our schools has gone beyond being a parent. For the past 3 years, I have been an active member of the Holy Rosary Parent Council, including the last 2 years of treasurer. This role requires me to collaborate with educators, fellow parents, parish leaders to support initiatives that enrich student experiences. Managing budgets and fundraising initiatives also gave me practical hands-on experience with accounting and fiscal stewardship at the school level. Beyond my immediate school involvement, I have a long record of community service. I worked closely with former trustee Ed Viena during his election campaigns until his retirement in 2014. That experience provided me with valuable insight into the responsibilities of a trustee, governance, advocacy, accountability, and above all, service to Catholic families. I also served as president of SCORA, a community organization in Oakville, until its dissolution, and it dissolved in 2021. This role strengthened my leadership skills, my ability to build consensus, and my understanding of community needs. Over the years, I've contributed to Catholic community life across Milton, Oakville, and Campbellville, communities I am proud to continue serving. In addition to my parish and community service, I bring over 15 years of extensive corporate experience. I built my career as a leader and thought partner in the corporate community with expertise in recruitment, leadership, and organizational strategy. In these roles, I have been responsible for driving results, managing budgets, and building inclusive and high-performing teams. I've also been recognized as a thought leader in my field, working with executives and organizations to solve complex problems, align strategy with values, and build future-ready teams. This corporate experience is directly relevant to the work as a trustee. Trustees must balance vision with accountability, ensuring fiscal responsibility while also investing in programs that support student achievement and well-being. Trustees may listen to many voices, build consensus, and make decisions rooted not in just efficiency, but in values. My professional background has prepared me well for this balance. I see the role as a Catholic trustee as multidimensional. At its heart, it's about advocacy, ensuring the voices of Catholic families are heard and respected. It's about governance, supporting policies and decisions that are transparent, fiscally responsible, and aligned with our Catholic mission. It is about community building, strengthening the vital partnership between home, school, and parish. And most importantly, it's about faith, ensuring that our Catholic values remain the foundation of our education system, guiding students not only towards academic success, but also towards the lives of service, compassion, and integrity. The Halton Catholic District School Board has identified values of faith, excellence, and communities as its guiding pillars. These values resonate deeply with me. Faith grounds us, excellence challenges us to do better for our students, and community reminds us that Catholic education is a collective effort. As a true trustee, I would seek to uphold and model these values in everything I do. I've always believed that building bridges between parents and educators, between schools and parishes, and between the board and the wider community. I'm committed to being a trustee who listens first, who engages respectfully, and who makes decisions in the best interest of students and families. In closing, I would like to return to where I began, my children. They are thriving at Holy Rosary because they are in a Catholic environment where faith and learning walk hand in hand. My hope is that every child in Milton and across the Halton Catholic District Board has the same opportunity to flourish in such an environment. Serving as trustee would both be a privilege and a responsibility that I am ready to bring my faith, my experience, and my commitment to this important role. Thank you again for your time, your service, and your consideration.
Thank you for your presentation. Up next is Trustee Kennedy. Trustee Kennedy, are you there?
I'm here.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Stefan, for your presentation. So it would be the questions we have for you as a group of trustees. Have you seen and read the HCDSB strategic plan? And if so, can you provide a few comments regarding the 4 pillars and your role within the MYSP?
Yes, thank you. I'm well aware of the 4 pillars. We review these in all the Catholic School Council meetings. These values do resonate deeply with me, as I mentioned in my earlier speech. I think advocating policies that support equity and inclusion is super important. Oversight and accountability to oversee, to make sure that we're making the right decisions for our students and our parents and our staff. I believe becoming is professional growth and adaptability and supports continuous improvement. And that happens both at the staff level and the board level, and building and achieving the board's responsibility to ensure all those students feel supported and they have the resources they need from the staff and the board to ensure that they're getting that assurance that they are being getting that assurance that they are being heard and felt.
Thank you. Trustee Kennedy, next question.
Thank you. What do you see as the biggest challenges facing the HCDSB today, and how would you address these challenges?
Financial stability and declining enrollments, as a few people here also alluded to. There's limited funding, and we have to be mindful what we're doing with these resources. We're also to maintain those smaller class sizes, but also be efficient with the resources that they have. We don't want to reduce the services, and I've seen it firsthand as well, again, being on the council at Holy Rosary, that there was a large problem with extended French last year, and it was a staffing problem and a budget problem. So how do we go to other communities to get funding to make sure that we can deliver on the promises that we're giving our school and our children and our parents, to make sure that we can hit those goals?
Trustee Kennedy.
Thank you. What is your understanding of equality and inclusion in the Catholic school setting, and how would you ensure all students feel valued and welcome?
I think it's super important, and I think it aligns well with Scripture. The different learning styles for students. We want to make sure that we have content that is engaging and demonstrates learning. We want to collaborate with our families and our students and the communities to ensure that their voices are being heard, that they feel like they have a voice at the table. And we need to make sure as a board that we advocate for these policies that are in line with the current equity and inclusion trends.
Thank you. Thank you, Trustee Kennedy. Thank you, Mr. Bovisic.
Thank you.
Please have a seat. Our next speaker is David Machado. Just give me a second, David.
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Chair, esteemed trustees, and member of the community. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is David Machado, and I'm here tonight because I feel a calling to serve our community and to be a faithful steward of the unique mission of the Catholic education. My connection to our Catholic schools is both deep and personal. As a current parent in the Halton Catholic District School Board, and having seen firsthand the incredible impact our school has on our students, I believe that Catholic education is more than just an academic instruction. It's about nurturing the whole child, spiritually, morally, and intellectually. This was my own experience, and it's what I want to help protect and strengthen for future generations. My commitment is founded not only in my faith, but in my practical experience. My background as a television floor director and a soccer head coach has given me a deep understanding of how adults and children alike react to several different situations. Having spent 15 plus years in the television industry, I'm very confident that there isn't a single type of person or situation that I'm not comfortable with. Having a wife who is a teacher in a different school board, a 4-year-old entering the junior kindergarten program, and a small infant, I have learned the importance of listening to parents, the teachers, the staff, the students. I've developed a deep appreciation for the hard work that happens every day in our schools, and I believe my skills can be a valuable asset to this board. I am prepared to devote the time and energy necessary to ensure accountability, advocate for our community, and support our staff. Should I be elected, my priorities will be guided by our own board's mission and the gospel values that are at the heart of our identity. My vision is built on 3 pillars. First, enriching our Catholic identity. In a rapidly changing world, it is more important than ever that we ground our students in teachings of Jesus Christ. I will advocate for policies that ensure our faith is woven into every aspect of school life, from the curriculum to our daily interactions. Second, focusing on student well-being and achievement. We need to ensure that every student is not only achieving their academic potential, but is also supported in their mental, emotional, and social development. This means making data-driven decisions on resource allocation to provide the right supports where they're needed most. And third, strengthening our community engagement. Our Catholic schools are the cornerstone of our parish communities. I will work to build a stronger bridge between the school board and our parishes, and to create better opportunities for communication and collaboration with our parents. In closing, I'm not seeking this position for any personal gain, but out of deep and sincere desire to serve. As Gerald Emmett Cardinal Carter once said, no one should seek this office for any motive other than to serve and to make the school system better. This is my sole motivation. I offer myself as a candidate who is committed, prepared, and ready to listen. I believe my faith and experience can help this board continue to provide an exceptional and distinctly Catholic education for all these students. I humbly ask for your support to serve as a trustee for the Halton Catholic District School Board. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Shallow. Our next question, Trustee Agnew.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you. So the first question, what is your understanding of equity and inclusion in the Catholic school setting, and how would you ensure that all students feel welcome and valued?
I understand and enjoy that we accept the majority of students, especially those who aren't even baptized yet, but I love the rule that they're, as long as one parent is baptized, they're still allowed to go to school. I have a great personal example. My sister-in-law, she's Catholic, her husband's not. Their child's going to a Catholic school, my niece came up to me and she was so excited because they have a little program. And I think these unique, small details matter so much. We have a unique program where, kids in kindergarten, and she goes, David, Uncle David, I want to be the good shepherd. And it's something so small like that a kid, she's not baptized, but she wants to be so involved. She comes home, she's telling me, I don't even live with her. She tells me, I see her once a week, and that's the first thing she wants to tell me about wanting to be the good shepherd. So I really appreciate that the child is able to come in and, speak for themselves. And we're in this new dynamic, new families coming out where they have multiple religions in the family. Now the child can actually choose. So it's good because, that's the parents. So parents won't have to push, and now the parents don't have to disagree with each other and say, oh, no, they should be Catholic, they should be Muslim, whatever religion you are. So I really, really enjoy that. That's one of our biggest roles. So, okay.
Thank you, Trustee Agnew.
What do you see as the biggest challenges facing the HCDSB today, and how would you address them?
I think the biggest challenge is getting our schools and our parishes together. I think there has to be lots more communication, and the communication and making it engaging and making something fun. I love to always say that, if you're you got to make someone have an emotion, have a feeling. It's a great feeling. Hopefully it's a great feeling, but when you have a great feeling about something, or somebody had a great time somewhere here, you want to go back there, whether it's an event, whether it's a sports event, whether it's a community engagement, where whatever it may be, you want to go back there. Like the Milton Fall Fair, I took my kid there the other day, and he's asking when's next weekend, when are we going to go back to the Milton Fall Fair? So that's an emotion he got, and I think we need to bring that to children, and let's have bring the children and to the parishes so that we can create this unique environment that they want to come back to. That's the biggest thing, wanting kids to come to church. I think that's the biggest thing with our board. It's a challenge thing, but I feel like we could do it. Making something fun and memorable will want to make people come back.
And the third question is, have you seen and read the HCDSB strategic plan? If so, can you please provide a few comments regarding the 4 pillars and your role within the MYSP?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with them. I actually just want to talk about what I think is the most important pillar, and probably lead to, I'm going to go with belonging. Like I said before, making somebody feel something, feeling belonged, feeling wanted. I think it's the biggest thing with humans just in general. Everyone loves to interact with each other. It's great when you have that feeling, you feel comfortable. I always tell all my interns this, that it's a big thing in my head. But if you remember someone else's name, their next task in their head is gonna be like, oh, and now I really have to remember this person's name. So they won't leave until I have to remember, well, David said my name. I got to remember who that person is. I got to remember who this person is. So doing the small stuff, the small details, I think makes a very big difference. And this goes again with, I think my favorite pillar is the belonging, because, it goes back to, if you feel something, you want to come back to it, and it'll make you come back wanting more. And when you want more, you'll keep going to that same place. So yeah.
Great, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Machado. Please have a seat.
Everything I didn't say anything on my
Yes.
Good call. Next. Next speaker is Greg Schiller. I say the name right. Greg Schiller. I'm sorry, I'm getting names, making mistakes. Oh, that's good.
Right.
Give me a second. Time. Okay, go ahead.
Hello, board. My name is Greg Schiller. I've been a resident of Milton and Halton for 6 years. I've been married to my wife Elaine for 18 years. And we have a 16-year-old daughter, Coral, who is a senior at Christ the King School in Georgetown. I'm a midlife Catholic convert. I attended Ontario College of Art and Design with a focus in fine art and photography. And I later moved to the biosciences and pre-med at the University of Western Ontario. For many years, I was involved in the medical publishing as editor of the Journal of Orthomolecular Medicine and as a facilitator of international medical conferences. I'm semi-retired a few years ago, and I currently work in my own business, renovating and building in the residential sector. In my personal interests, I'm a photographer, I'm a painter, I'm a builder. I love art and science equally, so I do both areas in my life. Our daughter recently switched to the Halton Catholic system for grades 11 and 12 from the Catholic French system. And I've seen her really flourish in this new environment that challenges her, introducing her to a great group of friends with shared Catholic values. That's encouraged and deepened her faith through volunteering, through mentoring, through team leadership in the challenge group. And I'm really inspired by her example. I want to support some of the great things that are happening here at Halton. I'm impressed reading about the academic initiatives in Halton Catholic schools through supporting programs like STEAM, International Baccalaureate, and Schism to help students compete successfully in specialized sectors and the trades. And why do I believe that would be
a good candidate? Well, for 22 years, I've held many roles within an international organization of medical advocacy and scientific publishing. I had a platform giving me a wide creative latitude to highlight treatment breakthroughs for mental and physical illnesses. As an editor, I shaped the ideas and manuscripts of doctors. I've also designed and edited many books for publishing. For a time, I was also a volunteer board member of Catholic Insight magazine, setting the editorial and content agendas. My experience in publishing honed my ability to blend art and science into effective communication to pare down the complex to the essential. I believe one of the most important responsibilities of a trustee is communication between parents' concerns, schools' obligations to the country and to society. As Catholics, we all find ourselves living in an increasingly complex world while trying to keep Christ and his teachings in the center of our lives. This can be challenging for young people in an increasingly secular and technocratic society. They average 30 hours of social media conditioning every week. That's a full-time job. They also have AI, machine automation, global competition on a scale that we never had. We as believers strive to live holy lives, setting ourselves to be both in and apart from the world. Students need examples of holy lives lived and to be encouraged to live out these values in schools, homes, and in society. I believe two principles that can guide our faith in school. Each of us is willed into this world by a loving God, and in striving for holy life, the church does not impose anything. It proposes. So we always need the freedom to accept or pass on her teachings. Now more than ever, Catholic truth needs to be presented in an appealing manner, and creating spaces within Catholic schools should be a core mission. When it comes to faith and school, a fundamental question is this: does a Catholic education offer additional value because of the Catholic faith? I believe it does, and many parents would concur. It's important to recognize parents as first educators, a role they truly hold from the child's earliest years. What we Catholics would call the principle of subsidiarity. Our understanding of the world begins with our parents, but not all home situations are Catholic or stable. In such cases, Catholic schools play a vital role in loco parentis, providing support and guidance. This provides a little bit of insight into me and why I might be of some use to this.
Thank you. For questions, over to Trustee Uganchara.
Thank you. Mr. Shalek, so question number one, what is your understanding of equity and inclusion in a Catholic school setting, and how would you ensure that all students feel welcome and valued?
Well, again, I would try to focus on the center, which is Christ, right? Because the peripheries are labels, right? And there isn't a big enough square for all the labels that we would like to include, and ever proliferating labels, right? So I think that you're all children of God, and I think that should be the central focus of what it means to belong, right? And it's just a simple concept, but it's enduring. So that's what I would say.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. On to question number two. What do you see as the biggest challenges facing HCDSB today, and how would you address them?
Well, I think that the biggest challenge of this board is the biggest challenge of almost every board, and that is that 40% of entry-level jobs are going to be gone due to automation and AI and AGI and robotic industrialization. That's 40%, right? And even many things that are created today, like a Tesla's produced in 30 seconds, 95% done with the machine, 5% human. That's everywhere. There's no legislation. There's no brakes on it. We live in a globalized economy, and every student that's in high school is going to face that. And it's bigger than the Industrial Revolution, because that played out over a century. It's 15 years. So I think that by far the biggest challenge to like the board's mission to like help students become productive in society, have enduring good jobs, right? That they can raise families.
Thank you. On to question number 3. Have you seen and read the HCDSB strategic plan? If so, can you please provide a few comments regarding the 4 pillars and your role within the MYSP?
I've read the plan in that chair. I have read it, and it's not the first time I've sat across from a multi-year strategic plan, like where I worked in the International Society for Molecular Medicine. We had many of them. And what's important, I think, is that you have to operationally define success and failure. You have to define and have everybody agree on what these terms mean, right? And then have them have like a measure of success or failure. If you have, I think there was 14 action items, right? If you operationally define 4 or 5 of those, you'd be wildly successful if you could do that, right? So I just think from my point of view, like in the scientific community and in medicine, that's the first thing we do is we make sure that everyone's on the same page about what definitions mean, right? So in terms of, I like a lot of what I see there. It's been really good. I mean, there's a mental health aspect of it, and there's really pressing needs for that. I mean, it follows with this online life. Mental health really deteriorates a lot, and there's the believing part I really like. I mean, I think from my daughter's experience, they have this incredible chaplain at CTK, right? And he brings in, about 220 kids to mass with no arm twist, right? They really like it and they love it. So it's important to have the right people, you have to really search for the right people to be able to do it. He's the right person for that. He's great. He's done so much, right? And, beyond any pages of generated reports, he's just this one guy. So, yeah, I think that the right people try to find.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shillan. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Danielle Masanto. When you're ready, go ahead.
Good evening. So I have to admit, I am recovering from pneumonia, so I apologize if my voice is in and out this evening. It's an honor to stand here and speak to you today. I grew up in Toronto. My mother owned a hair salon on Queen Street, and my father worked as a security guard for the Toronto Housing Corporation. I was their only child. It wasn't long after I was born that I noticed things were changing. Most days, my mother couldn't get out of bed, and visits to the hospital became more frequent. At the age of 6, I tried to deliver a speech at my mother's funeral. She died from breast cancer. We lost the house and the business, and we moved to Scarborough. My dad tried his best to keep things moving smoothly. We spent countless hours together at the park, at ballet class, and at church. I thank God every day for my Catholic upbringing and the support we received from our parish. He eventually ended up in social housing and relying on the Salvation Army for food. He was a proud man and head of the army during the failed revolution in Grenada. He spent 9 months in prison defending his country from communist invaders until the Americans stepped in. Despite his struggles, he ensured I received a good education and that I kept my faith. Now, as I ponder the reasons why I've decided to apply for the vacant position, I realize that it is deeply rooted in my desire to preserve Catholic education for future generations. and to create a supportive and inclusive environment for students, the very things that save me. My father died before I could graduate from university. It was my faith that carried me through. I graduated with a degree in political science and a determination to do whatever I could to benefit my community. I started tutoring students in the Toronto housing community for free and realized what a benefit it was to them. I started a tutoring company that to date has served thousands of students across the GTHA. I became a Toronto Regional Champion protege and was mentored by a sitting Toronto councillor. When the program was being threatened with budget cuts by then Mayor Rob Ford, I lobbied and was successful in having the program entrenched in the diversity office. The program mentors young women for political participation. I was chair of the Milton Federal Liberal Riding Association and recruited Adam Van Koeverden to run as our MP. I managed Z Hamid's campaign for regional council. I delivered the keynote speech to the Association of Municipalities of Ontario on the importance and impact programs that encourage and mentor women for political participation are. I authored a study for the International Development and Research Council on the effectiveness of such programs. I moved to Milton 19 years ago with my husband. I started delivering the Catholic Word to inmates at Maplehurst Correctional Facility every Friday. What struck me is that I was the youngest volunteer by far, which made it easier to connect with many of the inmates. Most had come from rough childhoods. Most did not perform well in school. Most had been abused or neglected or worse in childhood. This experience further strengthened my resolve to do whatever I could to enhance the school experience and supports for the children in our community. My husband and I went on to have 4 children. 2 are high performers and excel in school and in sports. 1 struggles terribly with ADHD, and the other was born premature at 6 months and suffers with learning disabilities. In grade 2, she was diagnosed in the 4th percentile for language. Through perseverance, dedication, and the will to succeed, I can proudly say that she is now in grade 6 and reading at grade level. I don't give up. I have an unshakable work ethic that I want to bring to this board. While 2 of my children attend St. Benedict Catholic Elementary School, 2 of my children attend Anne J. MacArthur Public School. It has been my experience that the resources in the public system are greater to serve students with neurodiversities. I want to do what I can with my time on this board to enhance student success in the Catholic system. I became the chair of the board at Anne J. MacArthur Public School and have been elected each year consecutively for 4 years. I was instrumental in rebuilding the board from 1 to now 11 members, and we have raised close to $30,000 year over year. It wasn't just about raising money, though. It was about enhancing student success and giving them opportunities to enjoy their school experience. I have the experience and dedication to serve the Board of Catholic School Trustees with distinction and grit. I want to help to protect the trustee system from the threats made by the Minister of Education. I want to work to preserve Catholic education for future generations. I want to work on increasing supports for children with neurodiversities, while also enhancing the education and environment for all students. And I want to be the voice that listens to parents.
The time is up.
Thank you. Sorry, I wasn't sure if that was my alarm.
It's not me for a minute. So thank you so much for your presentation. Your question will be Trustee Kelly. Trustee Kelly, go ahead.
So question 1, what is your understanding of equity and inclusion in the Catholic school setting, and how would you ensure that all students feel welcome and valued?
So I do have an extensive background in terms of working to get women to participate politically. That's given me a lot of experience with equity and inclusion in different environments, especially politically. How would I ensure that all students feel welcome and valued within our system? I think it would be about going into the community and listening to what the students and the parents, as well as the teachers and the staff members have to say about their experiences and what they're doing and hopefully bringing back information that I gather through all of my work and through any conversations that I can have with the director to ensure that there is some kind of meeting of the minds so that everyone does come and feel included when they enter those spaces.
So much. Number two, what do you see as the biggest challenges facing HCDSB today, and how would you address them?
I do see the biggest challenges as declining enrollment and funding for our students. I think one of the best ways is really to get out there and advocate to our local politicians to explain to them the importance of Catholic education, and also to get out into the community to advocate to parents of children to the benefits of a Catholic education so that they prefer to enroll in our system, and so that the government will continue to ensure that the system receives the funding that it deserves.
Thank you. And last one, have you seen and read the HCDSB strategic plan? If so, can you provide a few comments regarding the 4 pillars and your role within the multi-year strategic plan?
So I have seen the strategic plan. I think it was well written. I think it was well done. What I see the disconnect being is a lot of parents don't know about it. A lot of students don't know about it. And I find that what happens a lot is the teachers and the staff aren't really doing much within their local environments to understand why we even have this strategic plan and how can they implement that? What can they do in order to ensure that their programs and the services that they're providing at their local community level, I'm talking about the school environment, achieves a lot of these the 4 pillars and what we are trying to direct them to do. So I see my role as going into the community and listening, and also providing support and information about what it is that we as the board and are trying to do.
Thank you, Ms. Monsanto, and thank you, Trustee Kelly, for your questions. Please have a seat. Moving on. Next speaker is Joyce Joseph. When you're ready, please begin.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your patience. Good evening, Chair, trustees, Director of Education, and other staff members. I am Joyce Joseph. I'm truly honored to be considered for the role of trustee for the Halton Catholic District School Board. My Catholic faith has been the cornerstone of my life, shaped by the example of my father, a doctor who dedicated his career to Catholic mission hospitals and community service throughout his life. From him, I learned that faith is not only celebrated in church, it is lived every day through compassion, integrity, and service to others. Professionally, I'm an expert in adult education with specialization in strategizing and budgeting large-scale learning and leadership development programs. For executives, I'm also trained in conducting and interpreting psychometric assessments, and I've had the privilege of working with both global corporations and universities. My academic background includes a fellowship with the University of Toronto and an MBA, which has given me both practical and academic foundations to serve effectively in governance roles. Beyond my professional life, service to children and families has always been close to my heart. I have volunteered with organizations such as Childline, where I dedicated my time to empowering children and protecting them from abuse and neglect. I'm currently part of Catholic Moms Group in St. Benedict Parish. These experiences have strengthened my commitment to creating safe, nurturing environments where young people can learn, grow, and thrive. Well, and here is the truth. None of the above has tested my leadership skills, quite like convincing 2 little people every morning to get their shoes on for school. For nearly a decade, Milton has been my family's home, where my husband and I are raising our two wonderful children, both students in Lumen Christi in grade 5 and junior kindergarten. My daughter is an active member of Challenge Girls Club and also youth music ministry at St. Benedict Parish. I believe Catholic education offers something truly special. It shapes not only knowledge, but also the values, faith, and character. As trustee, I will bring my professional expertise, my personal commitment to service, my deep-rooted faith to ensure our schools continue to nurture students academically, morally, and spiritually. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next question will be Trustee Saunders. Trustee Saunders.
Thank you very much for your presentation. What is your understanding of equity and inclusion in the Catholic school setting? And how would you ensure that all students feel welcome and valued?
Thank you. I believe that we are guided by the Equity Audit Report, which is a wonderful guideline, and the current focus on some of the initiatives like Indigenous Education Framework, anti-Black racism, and some of the focus on school climate survey is wonderful. And I believe that some of the focus in mental health and well-being is very crucial at this point. How would we ensure that all students feel welcome and valued? More focus on special education, more focus on mental health and well-being. That would ensure that we are not treating everybody equally, but equitably. Thank you.
Thank you. Our second question, how do you see, what do you see as the biggest challenges facing the HCDSB today, and how would you address them?
Well, we have 56 schools, 35,000 students, more than 5,000 employees. And as a psychometric assessor and coach, I see the mental health challenges that people face every day firsthand. I believe if there is a more challenging job than being a parent, it is a job of an educator. And more mental health focus on mental health and well-being on them would be wonderful. We cannot pour from an empty cup, and the educators pour from their cup to the students. And ultimately, that is what is enriching them. So I believe that would be one of the biggest challenges considering the evolving education landscape.
And the last question, have you seen and read the HCDSB strategic plan? If so, can you provide a few comments regarding the 4 pillars and your role within the multi-year strategic plan?
Yes, and I would really love to meet the team who put it together because that's a wonderfully written document, a 6-page wonder. And in addition to the 4 pillars like achieving, believing, belonging, and becoming, I was also drawn to the 30 key performance indicators that the document is based in. It is wonderful. And however, I felt that we could do wonders if we focus a little bit more on believing. So whenever I look at that, I see the word joyful. How joyful are we being a Catholic? So enriching the Catholic identity of students and including more KPIs. I know we already have 28, 29 KPIs, but including a little bit more KPIs to measure that would be wonderful. That's my suggestion.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Joseph, and thank you, Trustee Saunders, for the questions. Please have a seat. The next speaker is Patrick Murphy. I get to ask a question, but I'm not going to participate. I'm going to pass my turn to some trustee to ask the client speaker name.
Before you start the clock, I want to commend all of the people who came forward, the candidates. They're fantastic. You can't make a bad decision. Your job's actually quite easy. But that was part of my time. You can't start the clock.
So I'll pass my questions to Trustee Kennedy. Trustee Kennedy, are you there?
I am.
you get a second chance. Go ahead.
I have to give
I
my
think he has to present.
presentation first.
He has to
Sorry,
present.
I won't take that personally,
I thought it was
Mr. Chair.
I thought it was your presentation. Go ahead.
That's okay, that, yeah, oh, yeah, okay, thank you. Good night. Good night, everyone.
The floor is yours.
Good evening, trustees, Director Klein, HCDSB staff, and my fellow candidates. It's a pleasure to be back among colleagues, both familiar and new, who share a deep commitment to Catholic education in Halton. I love what you've done with the place. I see the air conditioning hasn't been fixed, but that's okay. Stay on script. As a former trustee of Milton, I had the privilege of working alongside many of you around this table. Like many of you, I found that my understanding of the trustee role evolved significantly over time. The education landscape is complex. Student needs are diverse, community expectations are high, and the ministry's direction is ever-changing. Navigating these dynamics requires discernment, collaboration, and experience. There are rarely perfect decisions in this role, but experience helps us weigh competing priorities and arriving at solutions that serve the long-term good of our students and our system. That's the perspective I bring back to the board. A trustee who understands the nuances of governance, policy, and the importance of unity in mission. During my previous term, I was honored to serve as vice chair and later as chair of the board of trustees. These leadership roles deepen my understanding of board governance and strengthen my ability to build consensus across diverse perspectives. I also chaired the bylaw review committee, where we worked to modernize and clarify board procedures. And I served 4 years on the audit committee, gaining valuable insight into financial oversight and risk management. These experiences have equipped me with a strong foundation in both strategic leadership and operational accountability. My connection to Milton, particularly wards 2 and 3, is personal and long-standing. I've lived in both wards for over 30 years. Yes, I know I look like a child, but my children attend HCDSB schools. I've built strong relationships with local leaders at all levels of government. I've been a parishioner of Holy Rosary for over 3 decades, and I've worked closely with the parish through my trustee role and the Knights of Columbus. This is my home, and I feel a deep responsibility to serve it well. I continue to serve our students and families in other capacities as chair of the Halton Catholic Children's Foundation, which supports HCDSB students in need, as a coach in youth sports, and vice president of the Milton Santa Claus Parade, which brings our community together in celebration. Through the Knights of Columbus, I remain active in the parish and community life. I'm putting my name forward once again because I believe my recent experience, deep community roots, strong intergovernmental relationships, uniquely position me to contribute meaningfully to this board. I understand the challenges we face, and I'm committed to working collaboratively with all of you to protect and strengthen Catholic education in Halton. Thank you for your time and continued service.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. I pass my question to Trustee Kennedy. Trustee Kennedy, go ahead. The questions, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What is your understanding of equity and inclusion in the Catholic school setting, and how would you ensure all students feel welcome and valued?
It's a great question. So all of us being Catholics and empathetic people, you would assume that equity would not be as critical as it is in this environment. It's almost implied that there isn't an issue. Several years ago, community groups, grassroots groups, were asking us to hold a mirror to ourselves, which is not a comfortable thing to do. Thankfully, the board was brave enough to do that and had a third-party equity audit conducted. So the real value is to continue that work, is to keep looking in the mirror and keep measuring ourselves and keep reaching out to those who are not being seen. It's not for us who have power sitting around this room to make those decisions. It's to reach out to those who are not seen and not heard and take action from what they're asking us to do.
Trustee Kennedy.
Thank you. What do you see as the biggest challenges facing the HCDSB today, and how would you address them?
It's an unfortunate reality. The board is underfunded. The funding model is so complex. There really is no opportunity to move the needle. We're not going to get any more money. It's a complex formula based on socioeconomic, based on all of these other factors. So the issue is, what can we do without those resources? It limits what we can do. So I think we have to focus on excellence and our academic programs that we provide. The quality of our schools, the physical quality of schools makes a difference. When Milton didn't have a high school, when St. Kateri funding was delayed, we lost 700 students. 700 students times $11,000. That's reality. That impacts the entire board. So I think by bringing IB programs, by AP programs, by focusing on our academic excellence and the quality of our physical schools, we'll draw people in, and that's where we get our funding for, and that's where we'll be able to make a big impact.
Trustee Kennedy.
Thank you. Have you seen and read the HCDSB strategic plan? And if so, can you provide a few comments regarding the 4 pillars and your role within the MYSP?
I have seen it. I've lived them before. This document is not meant to be in the drawer to be pulled out every 4 years. This document is meant to be your beacon. All of your decision-making should be focused on this document. So when you have to make a decision at the boardroom table, compare it to the multi-year strategic plan and does it align? Outside of this boardroom, the trustee's role is equally important. It's engaging with all stakeholders. Being in the community, talking to parents, talking to principals, talking to teachers, engaging with politicians, and this is our guiding light. That's our beacon that we bring with us.
Thank you, Trustee Kennedy. Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Please have a seat. We have 2 more. Next speaker is Nathan Pillai. Nathan.
Hey, hello there.
All right. When you're ready.
Yeah, ready when you are.
Good.
Members of the election committee, my name is Nathan Halai, and I'm here today to express my sincere interest in serving as the Catholic School Board trustee for the town of Milton, representing wards 2 and 3. For over 15 years, I've worked at the intersection of clinical psychology, program development, leadership, and community service. But more than titles or roles, what truly drives me is a deep calling to serve, especially children and families, and to be a faithful steward of the gifts and experiences God has entrusted to me. Throughout my career, I've led multidisciplinary teams, developed impactful programs, and collaborated across many sectors: healthcare, education, and community. As the director of Bay Ridge Kids, we're a mental health clinic with 7 brick-and-mortar locations, about 80 therapists. I founded and led a clinically informed, value-based program that supports neurodevelopment of children. I built that about 6 years ago. Both it supports kids with and without disabilities. This work has only deepened my belief in the dignity and potential of every child. It has also shown me how important it is to create school systems that are inclusive, compassionate, and rooted in our shared Catholic values. As Catholics, we know that education is about more than just academic achievement. It's about forming the whole person, intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually. I see this role not just as governance, but as ministry, an opportunity to support our students, our families, and educators in a way that reflects the gospel's values of love, justice, and service. But above all, I come to this with a heart prepared. So my kiddos are 4 and 5. They just started a month ago at Holy Rosary. I love it. And as a father, I understand the hopes and concerns of families and what they carry, whether it's ensuring children are safe and supported, advocating for special education resources, or simply wanting to know that our voices are being heard as parents. Parents are the first and most important educators of their children. I believe in building a strong partnership between families and schools, where parents feel informed, respected, and empowered to take part in their child's education is fundamental. If children serve, I'll be a strong and consistent advocate for parents, making sure their concerns are brought to the table and that decisions made at the board level reflect the real needs of our community. This includes advocating for transparency, equity, and support for all students, no matter their background or ability, and that's important. So if I'm entrusted with this role, I will work faithfully and collaboratively with fellow trustees, educators, and community members to ensure that every student in Halton, especially those in wards 2 and 3 that I'll represent, receives the highest quality Catholic education possible. My goal is simple. It's to serve with integrity, to lead with compassion, and to listen to the heart of the parent and have the conviction of a Catholic. Thank you for considering my candidacy, and it would be an honor to contribute my experience, both personal and professional and clinical, my voice, my faith for the future of Catholic education in our community. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have just 2 more candidates here. I'll just pick another name from your director plan. Go ahead and pick the trustee's name.
Questions?
Yeah.
You have to ask the questions.
Questions?
Yeah, you just pick the name.
Pick your name.
No quick moves, slow. Moving slowly.
No quick moves.
There you go. Then look, we're good.
Okay, so trustee Agnew is going to do us a favor of questions.
Thank you very much for your presentation. So you've probably heard these a few times tonight, but I'll just reiterate them again. What is your understanding of equity and inclusion in the Catholic school setting, and how would you ensure that all students feel welcome and valued?
So understanding the dignity and potential of every child, that'd be my focus. My main focus. Working in clinical psychology, I've seen how important it is to create school systems that are inclusive and compassionate and rooted in Catholic values. I live and breathe and see difficulties every day. So love and compassion is paramount, and I feel that the struggles that we face as society are sometimes forgotten in our youths because what the parents bring to me in practice is heartbreaking. So understanding that we have to make sure that the child has dignity, regardless of diagnoses, regardless of disability, or regardless of ability, that we are attuned to what the child is saying through their parents.
Thank you. And the second question is, what do you see as the biggest challenges facing the HCDSB today, and how would you address them?
So, like I said, I give diagnoses multiple times a week, and parents are lost. Although efforts are put into place at IPRC meetings and people develop IEPs, parents are still frustrated with the level of engagement and care their child gets in the school boards. So I would listen to families. I would recognize the true needs of their struggling children and ultimately work to make education a place of joy so the kiddos that suffer from mental health issues or behavioral challenges have a voice. They're taught in a way that's not traditional because, to be honest, I'm fairly new in the game. My kiddos are really young. They just got out of Montessori. But what I'm seeing here clinically is an industry that needs to change, an industry that needs to listen. I would advocate for that.
Thank you. And the last question is, have you seen and read the HCDSB strategic plan? And if so, could you please provide a few comments regarding the 4 pillars and your role within the MYSP?
Absolutely. So how does it speak to me? I'll just go in order. Achieving. Listening to students and indeed their changing needs of the modern student is vital. A lot of my applicants here have talked about this. Our world is changing. The way we learn is changing, and having the child's voice, the learner's voice, that is important. And how they learn, how they develop, and how we teach them as an institution is paramount. I think a paradigm shift is coming eventually where we merge technology and learning, and how we can integrate the two with Christian values. This is key. Last point there is we all learn differently, and working as the director of AH Kids, I see that firsthand. I see through diagnoses, I see through struggles, I see through responses in therapeutic interventions, how kids and adults and parents learn. So everyone needs a tailored approach. Challenge is how can we make a tailored approach generalizable, right? How do we get this funded properly? Believe, fostering the faith from school to home to parish. I would love to ensure that faith isn't dismissed at the 3:30 dismissal bell, right? Growing up Roman Catholic, school ended. That's pretty much all you had for faith, right? You said your prayers, you said, we need to say at the end of the school, and you go home and you're busy with parents and after school activities, community activities. So what I would love to have happen is community programs that involve the church, community outreach, faith-based charities that have initiative that involve children of different ages, different age groups, and that can help further the teachings of Christ in a very meaningful way. So we have that transition from school to parish to home. Belonging. So creating this is essential. Building pride in themselves and their communities will foster engagement and success. So this is something that we struggle as clinicians to really instill in children, is that sense of belonging, especially in today's generation when they're lost with social media and TikTok and all the influences, all the artificial nonsense that they're seeing. Kids are lost. How do we allow kids to build ownership? How do we allow kids to build faith in themselves? These are key aspects that I would love to work on an institutional level with you guys. Okay. Becoming. I see this as building bridges. It is truly a village that raises a whole person. And that's what's key. These are little whole people that grow up through an institution, through our system. So working collaboratively will allow us to understand what the child is going through, what the parents are going through, and having an ear to that is the most important aspect of becoming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Pillai. Seat.
Thank you.
And we have our last speaker. I will come from here. So last speaker is Ada Noasu. Ada, let me know when you're ready. And,
I am the last but not the least tonight. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I'm sure you guys are ready. Okay, good evening, Mr. Klein, esteemed members of the board and committee representatives and my fellow trustees. Yes, my name is Adeza Angelique Mosu. You can call me Ada because I guess it's easier for everyone to say. I'm deeply honored to present myself as a candidate for the position of the trustee with the Halton Catholic District School Board. I come before you not only as a longtime Milton resident and parent, but as an immigrant, a community advocate, and a proud Catholic with a strong commitment to Catholic education, student success, and family engagement. My professional and academic journey reflects a blend of leadership, service, and dedication to education and governance. I hold a bachelor's degree in political science and a master's degree in public administration from Bowling Green State University, Ohio. Currently, I'm pursuing studies in immigration consulting at Queen's University, deepening my knowledge of policy, advocacy, and community support. Over the years, I've worn many hats as a multi-entrepreneur, event organizer, and community leader. I've had the privilege of engaging with diverse groups, whether through advocacy, cultural events, or church-based initiatives. These experiences have given me practical insight into governance, budgeting, policy oversight, and most importantly, how decisions at the board level affect real families and students. Additionally, serving 2 terms on the Catholic Parent Involvement Committee, CPIC, has further enhanced my governance, collaboration, and leadership skills. As a proud Catholic parent, I have 2 kids on the board, one at Lumen Christi, grade 8, oh my God. And the last one is she's in grade 11 at St. Francis High School here in Catholic High School here in Milton. I understand firsthand the importance of nurturing not only academic excellence, but also faith-based values in our schools. As an immigrant, I also understand the challenges that comes with finding your place in a new country and raising children in a system that they may feel unfamiliar with. This lived experience has allowed me to connect deeply with newcomer families and advocate for their children, ensuring that they feel seen, heard, and supported. Representation matters. For many African and immigrant families in Halton, having a leader who looks like them and understands their story is powerful. It sends a message to their children that they belong and they matter and that they can achieve. Through my volunteer work with cultural associations and faith-based organizations, I have built strong connections across Milton and beyond. My passion lies in bridging communities, strengthening parent engagement, and ensuring that diversity is not only celebrated, but meaningfully reflected in decision-making processes. If entrusted with this position, My priorities will include strengthening parent engagement by encouraging open dialogue between families and the board, promoting student success, not only academically, but socially and spiritually by supporting initiatives that develop the whole person, championing equity, diversity, and inclusion to ensure that every child, regardless of their background, feels represented and valued, upholding Catholic values in education while adapting to the evolving needs of our diverse community. I believe that my academic training in governance, my lived experience as an immigrant and an immigrant parent, and my dedication to service uniquely positions me to contribute thoughtfully and effectively as a trustee. In conclusion, I'm guided by faith, family, and community. I see this role not as a title, but as a responsibility to serve, to listen, to represent, and to advocate for the well-being of every student in Halton Catholic schools. Thank you for considering my application. It will be a privilege to serve alongside with you in advancing the mission of Catholic education in our region. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nwosu. Dr. Klein, you just pick up.
Stop.
Yeah. Up next is Trustee Paul, but Trustee Paul sent me a message that you've declined questions. Can you take another name, please? Trustee Mohan Chanara, could you do us a favor, please?
Okay. Ms. Nwosu, what is your understanding of equity and inclusion in the Catholic school setting, and how would you ensure all students feel welcome and valued?
In a Catholic setting, equity and inclusion means recognizing that every person is created in the image and likeness of God and deserves to be treated with dignity, respect, and love. It's about ensuring that every student, no matter their background, ability, or circumstance, feels welcome, supported, and they feel valued in our schools. Equity is giving each student what they need to succeed, while inclusion ensures that they feel that they belong, that they see themselves reflected in the life of the school. As a trustee, I will support policies and practices that promote fairness, access, and belonging for all learners. I would also like to listen closely to students, their families, and educators, especially those from diverse communities, to ensure that their voices help shape our decision. Ultimately, equity and inclusion are about living our Catholic values and ensuring that every child knows that they're loved and valued as a child of God.
Thank you. Question number 2. What do you see as the biggest challenges facing the HCDSB today, and how would you address them?
I believe one of the biggest challenges facing the Halton Catholic District Board is balancing financial pressures with the growing and shifting needs of our students. For example, like Living Milton is the fastest growing community amongst the Halton board. We have like almost a 56 or 58% increase. My daughter was in, she did the extended French program, and we had to stay with Louis Christian. She had to be on the, what they call it, the cubicle for a long time. And, because it was growing and there was a lot of, we didn't have room to put a real classroom. So we have to have those. So financial is one of them. And I think also I'll talk about mental health. We have to manage mental health, manage enrollment changes, like I said, across the biggest ones, Milton, Oakville, Burlington. And additionally, I think the board must navigate complex policy and community discussions to ensure this decision reflects Catholic values. So I would say finance, I'll say mental health, and us to just be together, working together as a board, will find out all the policies that can help shape those things and make it better. I'll use myself an example. I'm also a leader within my community. I bring a lot of people to Milton. I tell them if they're coming, come to Milton. And that's probably what some of the reasons you guys are seeing a lot of growth is that we're promoting a lot of it. So please, I tell them, don't come to Milton. I'll take care of you. I'll take you to the schools, everything. So yes, Milton is growing. And if I'm going to be the trustee, we'll sit down, we'll figure it out. But I'll bring all the people to Milton. I love my Milton. I'm not going anywhere. So thank you. That's the answer. We'll work on, I'll help work with it if I'm elected. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, and last question number 3. Have you seen and read the HCDSB strategic plan? If so, can you provide a few comments regarding the 4 pillars and your role within the MYSB?
Yes, I see it every time. I see it on this board sometimes. I on civic. So yes, the 4 plans that they're achieving, believing, belonging, and achieving, believing, belonging, and becoming. And it will guide how I advocate decisions and support our schools in achieving. I'll focus on creating equitable learning opportunities, helping every student reach their potential. In believing, I'll champion our Catholic identity, ensuring their faith, service, and values remain central to everything they do. Belonging is about fostering safe and inclusive and welcoming environment where everyone feels valued. And becoming emphasizes growth, leadership, and then preparing our students and staff to thrive in a changing world.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Osu. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Please have a seat. At this point in time, we have completed all candidate presentations. I want to thank you so much for preparing. All of you are great speakers. They've taken the time to prepare really great meetings. So at this point in time, I'd like to take a 5-minute break, trustees. We'll come back, take a 5 minutes break.
So back at 8:55.
8:55. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I will now pass the gavel to Director Klein. Director Klein, the gavel. Proceed for the next trustee.
So heavy. It's heavy. So what we'll do now is Elizabeth and Rosie will hand out ballots to each of our trustees here. And you have the names of all the candidates, the ones who've been withdrawn are here, and their names have been stroked out. Then they will come by with our Elections Canada approved instruction paper box. We'll put them in there. So just fold them up. Obviously, we'll be able to get a sense of just maybe give a little wave when you're ready and then pop them in. Superintendent Bakaich, Trustee Kennedy and Trustee Powell have her number. So they're going to call her and give her their votes. And then we'll go back and tell them. Brother Daniel is there to keep us honest, and then we'll take it from there. And then we'll come back out when we've done that counting. Oh, I've already got it. So let's bring it in. So you can see.
Like that, before I speak. Are we done with the voting process?
Chair, we're done with the voting process. We had 8 votes and ran smoothly. I want to thank Brother for his help in this endeavor, and Superintendent Pekaich as well. And thank everybody here for their commitment as well. Thank all the candidates as well for your efforts tonight and beforehand. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Daniel, for the Legionnaires of Christ for helping us tonight. Thank you, Superintendent Pekaich, and thank you, Director Klein. On behalf of the Halton Catholic District School Board, I am pleased to announce the results of the trustee elections for Milton Wards 2 and 3. Following the vote, Patrick Murphy has been elected as a trustee for Wards 2 and 3. We extend our heartfelt congratulations to Patrick Murphy on his appointment and thank all nominees for their commitment and willingness to serve our Catholic community. May the Holy Spirit guide your work in serving our students, families, and parishes, as together we continue to nurture excellence in Catholic education. Once again, congratulations, trustee-elect Patrick Murphy.
Thank you.
I shall now read the motion. We have to go through the process, formal process. Resolved, I shall read the motion. Resolved, the Halton Catholic District School Board of Trustees appoint Patrick Murphy as Halton Catholic District School Board of Halton Catholic District School Board, Milton, trustee Ward 2 and 3. May I have a mover, please?
I'll move it.
Trustee Chanara moves. Looking for a seconder, please.
Morgan seconded, Mr. Chair.
Seconded by Trustee Agnew. I have taken to a recorded vote.
Point of clarification, why do we have to vote on it if he's been approved? I've asked that question before.
Yes, so the results have been announced. It has to be ratified by the Board of Trustees. So, and that's a process. It's not a new process. We've just taken it from the other boards who have just basically done it. So that's how it's being done. So I shall call the vote on the motion in front of us. It has been moved by Trustee Ohan Chanara, seconded by Trustee Agnew. Trustee Powell, how do you vote?
In favor.
Trustee Kennedy? Trustee Kennedy? Trustee Kennedy? Trustee Agnew?
In favor.
Trustee Ohan Chanara?
In favor.
Trustee Kelly?
In favor.
Trustee Saunders? Opposed. Trustee Carabello?
Abstain.
Trustee Kennedy? And I'm in favor.
Abstain, thank you. Yeah, abstain.
So we have 5 in favor, 1 opposed, 2 abstention, motion carries. We do not have to go into in-camera. And so we shall move on to our next order of business, which is resolution regarding absentees. We have student trustee Adelier, who is not here tonight. May I have a motion to excuse student trustee Adelier?
I'll move it.
Moved by trustee Ohan Chanara, looking for seconder. Trustee Carabella, all in favor? Anybody opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Student trustee Adelier is excused. Please join me, adjournment and closing prayer. May I have a motion to adjourn? Looking for a mover. Trustee Agnew moves. Trustee Saunders seconds. All in favor?
Favor.
Anybody opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. I will now lead us in the closing prayer. Please join me in the sign of our faith for this song. Heavenly Father, we thank you for guiding our discussions and decisions this evening and for the spirit of service that each trustee brings to the table. We ask your special blessing upon all who allowed their names to stand for this election, and upon the trustee chosen, Trustee Murphy, Patrick Murphy, trustee-elect, chosen to serve in leadership at this time. Grant him wisdom, compassion, and strength to carry out his duties faithfully, always seeking to do your will in service of our students, families, and communities. May we continue to work together in the united love, building a school system rooted in faith, hope, and charity. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Thank you for a great meeting. Good night.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.